Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Good evening, everyone. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Just go ahead on and invite someone to join into LeaderScope on tonight. Give me those hearts. Give me those hearts. Swipe to your left, swipe up and down, and share on tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. So glad to be here on tonight. I gave everyone off on last week. Good evening. Gave everyone off last week. You know, it was Mother's Day, so I wanted everyone to enjoy time with their mother, or allow you to be celebrated as a mother. Of course, I was celebrating my mother and my mother-in-law, and of course my wife, who partners with me in raising my son, our son. So I wanted to definitely give everyone an opportunity to celebrate and remember their mother. So we took a time off. So and there's times where I make that decision. It's not that I'm making an excuse. It's just a time that I walk in a place of wisdom and understanding. So we're on tonight. So go ahead on and invite someone. Tonight is going to be kind of interesting. You know, earlier, my wife was asking me what I was going to share on tonight, and I kept saying, I don't know. I do not know. She kept asking, well, what's in your spirit? And I kept telling her, I do not know. I do not know. Hello, Levettes. I do not know. And I could not think of what to share tonight. Hey, my wife is on. Lady PNC. I could not think of a topic. And I'm going to be real relaxed tonight, you guys and ladies. I could not think of a topic. And I kept saying to her, I do not know. What to share. And that's kind of unusual, because as much as I read about leadership, and as much as I do leadership, I could not think of what I wanted to share tonight. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have anything to share, but I always try to hear in my spirit what to give you all each Sunday evening. But I thought about something. Once I walked in my office here, and I got in front of the camera, and I did a private test with my wife, and in doing the private test, I said, you know what? I am going to start a series entitled Formation. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a series, Formation. I figured Beyonce can do a series or two on formation. I'm gonna start one. Formation for leaders. Since this LeaderScope is about journey to effective leadership, we're gonna talk about formation for leaders. Getting in formation, because here's what's needed. In order to take the journey, you have to get in formation. And if you are going to, as a leader, you can't lead if you do not have followers. And because of that, you have to be able to have your followers and your systems all in the right formation. So we're going to start walking through a leader's formation. We're going to start talking about leader's formation. I'm not going to talk about lemonade and all that crazy stuff. I'm going to leave that up to her and let her make make her tour and do all that. But I am going to start talking about formation of character, formation of vision, formation of execution of vision. Because I think good evening, I think for leaders, we have to always make sure of one thing. We have to always make sure of one thing. You can be great at executing vision. You can be great at casting vision. You can be a great visionary. You can be great at getting individuals to buy into vision. You can be great at a lot of things when it comes to building and implementation, and running an organization and running things as a leader. But the one thing that you need to always make sure that you have in check, the one thing you need to always make sure you have in check, and that's your character. That is your character. That is the most significant thing about your leadership that you have to make sure you have in place. And it has to be tight. It has to be sealed, is your character. And here's the reason why. Because if your character is not sealed and tight, then as you are elevated because of the work you're able to do, then someone is always going to look for a way to bring your leadership down. They're going to always look for a way to bring your leadership down. And the first thing they will attack is not going to be your work. Because if you are so effective at your work is solid. Your work is solid. Your work is solid. Now they may try to look for some things within the scope of what you're doing. But if you're so effective in your work, they're not going to find much there. But the one thing they would try to find to bring you down, to destroy you as a leader, would be something as it relates to your character. And 9 times out of 10, that's where we see great leaders fall, is in their character. I'm telling you, that's where leaders are challenged. They're challenged. And here is the biggest challenge. The higher you go and the more effective you become in what you do as a leader, if you do not always stay in a place of formatting and reformatting your character, you will get to a place where you become so relaxed till it becomes easy to be a target with your character. You set yourself up. You will set yourself up. So if you say you're going to do something, you keep your word. You keep your word. That's a part of your character. You keep your word. And if not, then you need to always communicate that. It's little small things. It's really, really little small things that makes a difference. That makes a difference. Knowing who you are as a leader, your identity. And I'm not talking about your title. Your title is not your identity as a leader. That's just your title. Because if you ever stepped away from a particular assignment, that title stays with that assignment. But when we talk about your identity as a leader, that's who you are. That's who you are. I give you an example. An identity as a leader is like if you are a leadership coach, or if you're an entrepreneur. If you're an entrepreneur, your identity is that you're an entrepreneur. Now you may have a particular assignment somewhere, but your identity is the fact that you're an entrepreneur, and you bring different things to that assignment based on your identity that fits within that assignment that makes you effective. But you got to know your identity. See, all of that is built into who you are. All of that makes up your character. All of that makes up your character, who you are. But you have to be, you have to put everything in alignment. You have to really know that. So we're going to talk about formation. We're going to talk about the ethics of leadership. We're going to talk about the ethics of leadership, and it's going to be intense. And I'm going to encourage you all. I'm going to encourage you to make sure you have a pad, a journal, and every Sunday evening that you take time to write some things down. Because I'm going to really dig into some things. Because I've seen far too many leaders fall from their leadership because of their character, because of lack of formation, because of some things that they just have not been able to do. And it's not their assignment. They're great at what they do. They cast vision. They execute vision. They build a team. But it's some things that they have to work on about them and about how they manage the totality of people. The totality of people. And it has to be in a much better position in order to be able to do that. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be expanding ourselves, and we're going to really dig deep into some things that's going to strengthen that. And we're going to seal up some gaps. And during that time, I would want you all to really do some self-evaluation. Think about who you are. Think about those things about your own leadership, your own character as a leader. What needs to be strengthened. Think about your own strength and your weaknesses of your character. And be ready to talk and have some dialogue. During those times, each Sunday as we're talking, I don't want it to just be about me talking. It'll be a great time for you to ask some questions because it's going to help you. It's going to strengthen you. Believe me, there are times where I reflect about who I am and about my character and why sometimes my temperament is what it is when certain things challenge me. Why do I respond in a certain way? Listen, I understand sometimes my response, my facial expressions, all of those things feed into my character. And if I don't get those things in order, listen, someone can bring me down. Why do I respond the way I respond? Why do I do the things that I do? Why is that my temperament? Listen, those are the questions you have to ask. And sometimes what you also have to do is you have to go to other people and say, hey, tell me what you see about me. Become the bullseye. Be mature enough to be the bullseye sometime. Tell me what you see. What kind of things do you believe that I can improve on as it relates to my character as a leader? Okay. Do I communicate effective? And when I talk about do I communicate effective, listen, I'm not talking about do I communicate effective in terms of am I communicating correctly, grammar and stuff like that. Yes, that's important. But when I talk about am I communicating effective, do I allow time to listen to what you're saying? And am I listening with clarity? Or am I just talking? Or am I just listening to let you talk, but I really don't care what you're saying? And the way you can tell when a person is listening for clarity of what you're saying is through certain body languages, or when they walk away, you really can see them willing to work with your idea. So it's so much that goes into your character and to the ethics of being a leader. And we're gonna really, I'm going to make sure that I am well prepared every Sunday, every Sunday evening, and I'm gonna make sure that I have some things in place for us because it's important. So if you like that, give me those hearts. If you think it's going to strengthen you, you can type it. You can say, I don't like that idea. Hey, tell me. Now that may not change anything, but that's what I'm led to do. And I hope that you all understand it, because I really do believe that it's vital to who we are as leaders to make sure our character is very, very strong. It opens up a lot of doors when people can sit around and your name is on their lips, and it's in a good place. It's in a good place. You really want people to be able to say that you are a good person. Your character is good. Not just your work. Not just your work. But your character. Who you are as a leader, who you are as a person is wonderful. People love to be around you. People love to talk to you. People love to work with you. That's what you want. You want people to like you. And you like you. At the end of the day, you're at peace with you. You're at peace with you. You want to be at peace with what you do, and you want to be at peace inside of you about what you do. So that's going to be very, very important. So, join me next week as we talk about formation of character. That's what we're going to be dealing with. Formation of character. Putting our character in formation. And I'm not sure how long the series will be. I don't know how long it's going to last. It could be 3 main things. It could be 4 things. It could be 5. It could be 7. I'm not sure. I'm going to be led. I'm going to be praying about it, what those things are. I'm going to be looking at it in some natural sense. I'm going to be looking at it in some biblical context, because I believe it strengthens all of us in all ways. So in various ways. So I'm excited about it. It's just amazing that I was really, really kind of sitting around saying, okay, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? And that Paula Nicole kept saying, what are you going to share tonight? And I said, I don't know. I have no idea. And she's so helpful. She said, just encourage them. Just encourage everyone. And when I came in this office, that's what I heard. I heard it. I heard it plain as day. If Beyonce is doing formation, you do formation for leaders, and let it be built around character. Because I've seen a lot of leaders falling. Great people doing an amazing job, but their character is making them fall. And we cannot afford to have great leaders who keep falling because of their character. Yeah, we can't. And you can't get to a place where you think you're untouchable. You can't think you're untouchable. No. You can't be that type of leader. You can't. So, thank you all so much for joining in on tonight. Man, leadership is serious. It is serious. So, we're gonna definitely make sure that we're on point. So I want you to go ahead on and hit those hearts for me. Let me see some hearts going up, and you can go ahead on and type, I'm a friend of leadership. I am a friend of leadership. I did not forget the image of the t-shirt. I did not forget the image of the t-shirt. I talked to the guy who designed the image for me, and I did not get a chance to get over to his shop to get it from him. So I will definitely get it from him. Most of my images are done by my niece. So it's easy for me to get them from her. But this guy, he's doing the imaging and the t-shirts for me. So I kind of changed a little bit the graphics design for it. I changed it a little bit. So this is a little different process for me. So kind of bear with me, but I promise you all that by next Sunday I definitely will have it. And here's the thing, I cannot teach and I cannot share on this type of subject, and I'm not dealing and focusing on my own character. Because if I do that, then you have every right to come on my Periscope, this LeaderScope, and type in hypocrite. And if you see me doing something, pull me to the side and hold me accountable. For those of you who are close to me and you can reach me, do that. Okay, do that, because we're gonna all work on it together. We're gonna all work on it together. I'm not perfect. I'm not perfect. I love leadership. I study leadership. I read about leadership all the time. I walk in it, but that doesn't make me perfect. So hold me accountable. I'm trying to work on my facial expressions at times. So, hold me accountable. But thank you all so much for joining in. Now, any questions? Any questions before we sign off? Any questions on the topic for tonight? Anything you want to ask? Any questions? Any questions? All right, no questions. Okay. Let me mention this as well. There used to be a service called catch.me, KATCH.me. That service has gone down. So all of my broadcasts that I currently had up, I was able to transfer them to a YouTube account. So there's a YouTube account out now, Cotton and Company Leadership Group. Where you can just you can type in Cotton and Company Leadership Group, and you can see any of the previous Periscope videos. And now this one, I will be saving it to my gallery and then uploading it. So hopefully I do this one correctly. So you can always watch them at a later time. I hear Periscope's supposed to be developing where they're saved to a server, so let's hope that happens. But I will still be going and saving them on a YouTube account. So we're really excited about that as well. So thank you all so much as always. God bless you. I love you. I'll be chatting with you real soon. I see someone that looks like a new name on Young Queen. I'm sorry. I'm not familiar with that sign-in name. So if you're visiting for the first time, before I sign off, let me know. Are you visiting for the first time? If so, where are you visiting from? Thank you for joining in. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. Haven't seen you on at least not last week, because we wasn't on last week, but the week before. So hi, Sierra. Thank you for joining in on tonight. Just to recap, we're going to start a new series entitled Formation. We're going to be dealing with the character of leaders. So be looking forward to joining in every Sunday night at 8 o'clock sharp. We will be on. So thank you all so much. Be looking forward to seeing you next week on LeaderScope. You all take care. Have a great week.